Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Scary Stories by the Campfire. We are your counselors tonight, Jeremy.
And Jason.
We're going trick or treating tonight,
Trick or treat.
and we got to make sure we follow the rules. We have to follow the rules. We do. We have to follow the rules, or
Yes, we
Sam
do.
is coming to get you. Just saying.
Little old Sam.
So,
Little old
Jason,
Sam.
take it away. And what did you think of Trick or Treat?
Um, this was the first time I've ever seen this movie. I'm gonna
Really?
be honest. Yes, this is the first time I've seen it. Now I do a lot of, and here's the thing. Before getting into this podcast and stuff like that, and actually experiencing these movies the way we do now, um, I used to. Well, I still do, but I mean, I watch the kill count, and that's where I saw this movie. Technically, I saw the kill count for it off the Dead Meat YouTube channel, and so I already had a sense of what the movie was. But of course, when you watch it on something like the kill count or some sort of review show, they never give you the full thing. They usually break down the story for you a little bit and go into their bit, whether it's counting kills or explaining Easter eggs and stuff like that. But no, this is actually the first time I sat down and watched this movie, and I was mildly surprised. It was a whole lot better than I thought it was going to be. I've heard that it was a really good movie, but it actually kind of blew my expectations out of the water.
Yeah, so it's funny because every year on Halloween for the month of October, I always watch one horror movie every day. And this movie, 3 years ago or 2 years ago, actually, when I watched it, I determined that no matter what, just like the original Halloween from John Carpenter, this gets watched every October at some point because I love this movie. I love everything about this movie.
Little Sam is just adorable.
Funny thing is, you remember that scene where the girls are in the changing room getting changed into their costumes, and that
And
little
that little
kid
kid,
is peeking in there?
yeah,
That's Sam. That's the actor
yeah.
who plays Sam.
I actually caught that ironically on the kill count because after we finished this movie on Monday, me and Raven jumped on the YouTube channel because there was certain parts that she had missed because she was getting dinner and stuff set up and who's it's and whatnot. So there was some certain parts that were missed, and when we get into it, this for everyone out there, this movie doesn't play as a straightforward movie. You have to think of this as what? How many stories were in this, Jeremy?
You had the old man next door. You had
Yeah,
the principal.
yeah,
You had the children.
yeah,
You had the girl, the werewolf.
yeah.
So four.
The robot lady, kind of in the beginning.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, five if you count her.
I mean, that well, technically that box ends the beginning and the end of the movie.
Yeah. So five.
Um, but there's like five stories that are in this. It's like an anthology movie. It has five separate movies, or not five separate movies, but five separate stories. But they all have a string that kind of ties them. I wouldn't say together, but has them cross over, and it's played out of sequence. So you'll be watching one portion, and like when we were watching it on Monday, um, the principal gets killed by the werewolves at their like werewolf party, right?
Yes.
And then they transition into the old man segment, and that actually goes back in time a little bit because you get to see the old man before when he was interacting with the principal in the backyard, and at that point Raven was like, "Hey, whoa," or was it Mom? I don't remember.
It was
One of
Mom.
them was like, "Oh, hey, uh, didn't he die just like a moment or two ago? Didn't we just see him get killed?" We're like, "Yeah, it transitions back and forth. There are bridges that connect these stories, but they're not complete plot threads.
Yeah,
It's
because
just seeing things from a different perspective.
yeah, because characters from each story, if you look, you can actually see them passing through the backgrounds of all the other ones. Once
Yeah,
they are not
and
involved in it, helps piece together the chronological parts of the movies together.
the strange thing about it is like we had said earlier, this is a messed up town. This town is messed up. Not only do you have some grumpy old man who was a bus driver or whatever who killed a bunch of kids, but living right next door to him is apparently some sort of serial killer, and living or you have werewolves living in the same town, um, zombie children, I guess, that were killed beforehand. Um, yeah, this town's just messed up. It's a messed up town.
It was, and apparently, so all the students on the bus were special, like needs people.
Were they?
Yeah,
Is that how they?
they
They just
were
said they were like special.
well,
They
and
actually said,
the actors were actually special needs as well.
"Oh, well, that makes it even worse."
They legit got
Now I feel
actors,
bad that they.
and apparently they
I
had a blast shooting too. From what it says, the performers under the masks playing the kids on the school bus all have disabilities or injuries, and they apparently had a blast during the shoot.
well, that's good. I mean, you know, including everyone, you're not gonna have a bunch of normal people acting like. But yeah, they said they were special and that their parents or what just got tired of them and were
Yeah,
embarrassed by them, so they uh, uh, paid that guy to attempt to drive him off into a ravine or something, a
wow.
lake.
So apparently, this film is based on Michael Dougherty's animated short films Season's Greetings, which came out in '96, which is where the character of Sam was debuted.
Oh, very interesting.
I'll
I
have to
may have
go and
to,
watch that.
yeah, I may have to check that out. That sounds like an interesting thing. Right, hop over here real quick.
And then apparently, this film was originally supposed to be released in October of 2007, but was for some reason pulled by Warner Brothers. Speculation was that because Saw 4 came out around the same time, they didn't want to fight for ticket sales against Saw 4. Which, thinking back, you know, the Saw movies back then were super popular. You know, they had just came off the high of Saw 2, and they were still kind of on it with Saw 3. So when 4 was getting ready to come out,
Yeah, that happens with did you say it was the same company?
no.
Okay. Just what, same genre horror?
Oh, what?
That they didn't want to compete.
Oh, no, yeah, it was because they were supposed to come out around the same time.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, that's what happened to the New Mutants. The New Mutants were was an X-Man spinoff, and they ended up getting delayed because of Deadpool 2. They
Mm-hmm.
were supposed to come out about the same time, but that's more of a company thing. That's more like they were coming out of the same studio, so it was like, they pushed New Mutants back, and then they set a release date, and they got to Dark Phoenix, and they were like, nope, push it back again. Um, and then eventually it didn't get released, and Disney bought Fox and so on and so forth, and eventually got released. So Yeah, I can understand when you don't want to compete with something and you feel like, because that's the hard thing about it is that you set these movies out and you set them out with a date
Yeah.
and you don't always realize what that date's going to entail. So when you roll up on it, you're like, should we push this one back? They may have found this one to be the weaker of the movies, but I really don't think so.
I don't
I think
remember. What did James say? Did he say that he liked this on the kill count? I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched that video.
oh yeah, he said he loved this one, as far as I'm aware.
So
Yeah, nothing but positivity for it.
so for everybody out there on Twitch, if you've seen the movie, I want to know which of the stories was your favorite. But Jason, out of the five little stories, which was your favorite and why?
Oh, good question, good question, good question. I think I'm gonna go with the werewolf one.
The
I
werewolf
like the
one?
werewolf one. Yeah, because it's first of all, it's different. It's kind of got a nice little twist to it where the girls are trying to find dates for a party, and you think it's just gonna be like one of those drunken, you know, teenage parties where everyone's just sleeping around and whatnot. But turns out all the girls that had been inviting the guys were all werewolves. And for me, I really like that one is because of the effects.
Yes.
It's not a typical werewolf scene where they just kind of duck behind something or their face just kind of transforms into a werewolf. They were throwing their skin off.
they
They were
they
like they were
shedded
like
their clothes and skin in that one.
yeah, yeah, they were like taking their clothes off because apparently, you don't want them to rip, right? And then their bodies would enlarge and bend and contort, and their skin would split, and they would just rip it off. And underneath would be the werewolf. Only thing is I don't know how they would transform back. Do they just rip off the werewolf skin? Do they turn into like the dogs in Ghostbusters? They just kind of freeze up and then they just kind of break out and they're human again. That would have been actually an interesting thing to see. But the one main girl that you're following, she can't find a date, and she ends up getting attacked by this masked man in the woods, who is playing as a vampire. They play him off as a vampire, and it turns out to be the principal who's out there just killing people. And yeah, then come to find out he gets to be her date, which
Speak,
is pretty much just werewolf child. So
Speaking of principals, he beat that he poisoned that kid and then the kid didn't die. So he's out there in the hole with him.
actually, Jeremy, that was a different kid. That was a different kid in the hole.
I,
I think what he did was he killed the first kid, cut his head off, put him in the bag, threw the body in the hole, but there was already a body in the hole,
oh yeah, probably.
and that was the other one that was waking up. And there's this really funny scene where he's trying to shut him up while the neighbor is trying to talk to him, and then he's got that kid, and then the kid's just yelling out the window, "Hey!" you know, and he's like, "Shut up, Billy," or whatever his name was. Um,
I need help with the eyes.
yeah, and then come to find out that it was the kid was in on it. Well, the kid was learning from the dad. He was they went down to the basement where he thought they were going to carve a jack o' lantern, and it was actually the kid's head that they had.
They built it up like he
Yeah,
was gonna kill his son.
yeah, because the kid was just being annoying, and the dad was like, "Oh, I can't," and he grabs the knife and hiding it behind his back, and they go down, and it looks like he's getting ready to stab the kid, but it's actually a head on well, as PJ says there, it's a head on a platter, and they're getting ready to carve it up, make it like a human jack o' lantern or something like that. So Jeremy, what was your favorite story?
Uh, Mine was the fight between Mr. Krieg and Sam.
God, that was hilarious. That was a good one too.
It was just the constant back and forth of
I
uh,
like.
he like shot his they shot his hand off
I,
and his little hand just starts crawling around the floor and
I thought the
starts
funny.
making gestures at him.
I thought the funniest bit that happened in that scene was when he got shot in the head. When he shot Sam in the head, and you just see he's got his like a little pumpkin skull head or whatever, and Raven said that kid that seems satisfied with that kid's head was the most disturbing part. Yeah, he was a bit creepy, and he even dressed up as his dad for Halloween with the blood
Oh
stain
yeah,
on the shirt. It was pretty creepy. But yeah, they had their little scuffle, and um, what is it? Creed? Is it Creed or is it Krieg?
Krieg,
Krieg.
Kreeg.
Kreeg. Krieg shot Sam in the face, point blank, with a shotgun, and all you see is like the close up, just, and then it cuts to a like the door frame, and all you see is this body slide across the front door. It's like, and he hits the wall, and he's just slumped there. I just thought it was the funniest thing ever, just watching him slide across the floor and just. But
And Sam was
but
full of
that
little pumpkin parts. All his
yes,
guts were little pumpkin parts.
he was a little pumpkin kid, and
We got to see the
if
origin of the lollipop thing that he killed at the beginning.
yeah, if you followed the rules of Halloween, no harm would come to you. So most of these people who got their comeuppance from the hands of Sam were usually people who were not following the rules of Halloween. And
Krieg was not
like
giving out candy.
yeah, Krieg wasn't giving out candy. Um, the robot lady in the very beginning, she was wanting to take down all her decorations, which if you saw her yard, there
Uh,
had to have been hundreds of decorations out there, and she was wanting her husband to take it down that night. You're talking hours.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
she deserved to get popped because she's just awful.
Sam stuck that lollipop in her mouth, and it was just like, oh.
Yeah, it was a really big lollipop. Yeah, what did did he cut her head off?
Yeah, he cut her head off and then stuck it on a scarecrow.
Yeah, because there was body parts hanging from the tree also. So, um, but yeah, that was just kind of the teaser in the beginning, and then we jumped right into it. You had so we talked about
The,
the principal story.
we talked about Krieg.
Talked about Cree. We talked about the werewolves.
We did not talk
Um,
about the children who were collecting jack o' lanterns as tribute
okay.
to the special needs kids.
Okay. Yeah. So there was a group of kids, and to me, I think only one of them was like really mean, which was whatever her face was.
The angel
Cause you
looking one.
Yeah, because you had the angel looking one. She was like the meanest of the bunch. You had the taller kid who they weren't all awful, okay? They weren't. Okay. To an extent, playing a joke like they did on the I can't ever remember any of their names. So we're just gonna go with Angel,
Angel, alien,
Alien,
pirate,
Pirate,
witch.
Witch, and what was that one kid?
I don't know. The guy,
I
the
don't.
one
Okay,
guy,
okay.
the one boy.
The yeah, the one guy. They all played a trick on the witch girl. Okay, which was they the angel had told her the story of um how the kids died in the ravine, how the bus driver drove them, or well, technically one of the kids got out and was trying to drive the bus and he drove it off the cliff, and the bus driver guy was the only one to survive. All the other kids drowned.
Turns out that was
And
Mr. Krieg.
yes, twist. That was Mr. Krieg. That's why he doesn't celebrate Halloween. Well, when he got his butt kicked by a, how tall do you think he is? Like 4 foot?
Yeah.
By a 4 foot pumpkin kid. He was dishing out candy real quick. But um, so they're going to go down there, put the lanterns or the jack o' lanterns down there, and that would be like a tribute to those kids. But the only person, I don't think any of them actually believed it at first, but they went down there and they were going to play a trick on the witch girl, and they all acted like they were attacked. And she went out there and she got scared by them and got herself knocked out. When she reawoke, she realized they had just played a mean joke on her. Now, the only one who was actually okay with it was the angel girl, because she was just mean. I don't know why she was mean. That's that's the thing about this story is the kind of downside is why they picked this girl to do it. Or they just like, did she just not like her, or
Yeah. I think she's from
what?
Derry.
Yeah, she's from Derry. She's just bullied, you know. But the one guy was like really concerned for Witchy, and I mean Chip, who is the pirate, and the other girl were just kind of like, oh well, we shouldn't really do this. Well, at that point, they had already knocked out all the lanterns, the jack lanterns, except for one, and Witchy was, or not Witchy, Angel was like, okay, we're done now. Let's, and she kind of kicked it into the water. Well, I guess that was a rule of Halloween, and because the jack o' lanterns are supposed to, I guess, protect, I suppose, ward off the bad. And well, the dead kids came back zombified and started attacking the other kids. Well, Witchy had made herself into the little elevator or whatever that thing was, had jack o' lanterns in there, and proceeded to leave the other kids. And they all got massacred down there. So that was fun. But I kind of felt bad because I was like, the one guy he wasn't terrible, okay? He just went along with this joke and realized it wasn't that funny afterwards. And like Chip was in on it, but I don't think he was entirely on board with everything afterwards. I think it was just really Angel that was just the worst of the bunch.
Yeah.
But they all end up dead except for Witchy, and she runs into Sam, and Sam's just like, "Yeah, you did all right, kid," and then just kind of left her alone. So that was interesting.
Interesting.
But yeah, interesting. What are you looking at, Jeremy?
Oh, just all the different references that they made. The werewolf transformation is a nod to the Howling. Mr. Krieg's look is a nod to how John Carpenter looks.
I know he did look kind of familiar.
Stuff like that. The
So the werewolves transform like that in the Howling,
yeah.
kind of rip their skin off, whatever. Maybe it's not as original as I thought it was. I never really watched the Howling. I'm putting that out there.
I mean, I haven't either, to be honest. Uh, just overall, I think this movie did exactly what it set out to do, and honestly,
It's it
and all the actors did great.
it's kind of like those movies like Tales from the Crypt or Creep Show. Well, Tales from the Crypt, their movies are single stories. Something like Creep Show.
Yeah,
Um, Except the difference with Creep Show is that each individual story is its own story, and there's nothing that really attaches them. This takes place in the same town on the same night with pretty much the same people. So that's how you get that kind of connectivity, is that you get to see them kind of interact or move around or whatever, but their stories don't technically connect. They're all single stories. So you could watch um, Krieg's story or the principal story and not have to see any of the other stories and go, oh yeah, that's kind of an interesting twist. and but then when the twist is actually into another story, that's actually pretty fun, like that. So no, it's little hints there, hit little hints there that make everything that make this movie really cool.
I like
And
Dylan
little
Baker. I thought he did great.
who was that?
He plays the principal.
Oh, he plays. What else has he been in? Because he looked very familiar.
He plays in Anchorman 2.
Mm,
I think he
didn't
plays in
watch
the
that.
original. He plays Kurt Connors in Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire.
Must have been where I've seen him.
Yeah, he plays
They
Dr.
didn't really
Connors.
but they didn't really do anything with him in that movie. So he just and I haven't really seen Spider-Man 3 too many times. I've
Well, he's
seen it a
in
lot. So
Spider-Man 2 as well.
then that's probably where I've seen him
Yeah,
because I think I've only watched part 3 only maybe like 2 or 3 times. It's
yeah,
just not my it's not my favorite Spider-Man movie. I'm sorry.
Emo Maguire is so good.
I would
Especially when he has a dance off against Wednesday Adams.
Oh god. That's
No.
what the internet's for.
He is actually Dylan Baker actually is on the Marvel Wastelanders podcast.
No, really.
He plays.
What do they do on that?
I have no idea, but he plays the voice of Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom. He went from Kurt Connors to Doctor Doom. Bro, that's a step up. Even though I prefer I hope he does better than like what Fox has done with Doctor Doom. I feel so bad. Like Doctor Doom is like the most hardcore villain in all of Marvel and he is just an embarrassment in the movies. I'm sorry. He is horrible in these movies.
I know it's in his
But
name, Doom, and it's just kind of
Doom, but
like, eh.
I kind of got electrical powers, I think. We are running off on a tangent that we what is this? Sam's so cute. Doctor Doom is awful.
Who would win, Sam or Doom?
Well, if it was Sam in this movie and Doctor Doom from the movies, yeah, Sam would win hands down. He may get like an electrical shock that sends him flying across the room, but I'm pretty sure Doom would just I don't, I
There
don't
was
know.
one very important lesson from this movie that everybody should take away. Always check your candy.
Oh yeah, yeah that principal guy. He was just what would they call someone like that? It's just like a
Sociopath?
is he a sociopath? Is that what they would call it? He's not
Probably.
technically a psychopath. He's
Nah, it'd be a socio, probably.
I don't
It's,
know. Ravenfire might know. She likes to um, she updates me on these types of things. So she might know. If you hear me, Raven, what do you think that principal was? Just because he was in there poisoning all his candy, and he purposely put it out there for kids to take. Well, technically, it was called stealing, but I mean, if the kid was like grabbing like handfuls and throw them in a bag, then sure that might be considered stealing. But if you put out a bunch of poisoned candy, you know, and then like I said, he killed the one kid, threw him in the thing, chopped the other kid's head off. Then he went out there and killed that woman. He was the vampire, and he ended up killing her. How did she die? Did he just bite really hard into her neck?
I guess. I don't even know if she died. Maybe she just passed out. For all I know.
No, I'm gonna call her dead. I'm just gonna assume that.
Did the kill count put her as dead?
I believe so.
Then
I
she's
believe so.
dead.
And she's dead.
We follow the rules of James A. Janice. She's
Yes.
dead.
Yes. He is a wise man. My God, so stupid. All right. So if anyone hasn't seen this movie, you need to go out and watch this movie. It's got a little bit of everything, and it's got humor. It does have some fun bits. I wouldn't call it scary. I wouldn't really call it gory. It doesn't have like a lot of gore in it.
No.
Um,
I mean, unless you consider pumpkin parts to be gore.
well, I mean, and you got like the ripping of the werewolf. You know, they're like literally throwing defleshed arms, almost like just rubber socks. Um, so yeah, I mean, there a little bit of I wouldn't say gore, but yeah, there's a little bit of body mutilation and stuff like that. But
So,
I mean, overall, the movie is very well done.
let's say so. Let's talk about Sam because he's kind of sitting here.
Hi, Sam. How's
What
it
did you,
going?
what did you think of Sam overall in ways of costume and character design, with and without the mask?
He is adorable.
Before
I
or with the
actually,
mask or without it?
both.
When he
I
bit
mean,
Mr. Krieg's leg.
yeah, I mean that little pumpkin skull thing on his actual like face, which was like pumpkin shaped, and it had like a skull kind of face built into it. Um, yeah, it was adorable. I mean, he's not. I were they going for scary? I don't know. Um, Ravenfire says he was psychopathic. Um, actually, actually, Sam was so adorable, and PJ and Raven are both agreeing that they love Sam and that he was adorable. He's so cute. He was so adorable that I mentioned to Raven. I said, you know what? I think this year I'm gonna dress up my youngest as Sam, and she's like, yeah, maybe I'll dress my youngest up as Sam. We're gonna have two Sams running around this year. You just watch. There's gonna be two of them. It'd be like our ghost face stunt a couple years.
Oh, that was a good one.
Be on the watch. We might be at it again. So,
That was a lot of fun. No,
but
you always see all the Sam costumes floating around the Halloween shops. And now you can see exactly where it comes from.
yeah, I mean, he's not scary, and that's. Did you hang up that phone on me?
So,
Uh,
real quick, little side note for anybody who's looking at the chat of what happened. A few years ago, me and Jason decided to play a Halloween prank on our mother. She loves horror movies and she loves Scream. So we both bought a Ghostface costume. I had previously snuck in and unlocked one of the back windows. And I came into the house without them knowing. So I was already in the house and Jason was out front.
and I scared her into the house, right? And it's so weird because she loves Jason, she loves Michael, she loves Ghostface and stuff like that. But that stuff still kind of scares her, I guess. But yeah, so I came out and kind of did a little display or whatever, and she jogged into the house. I never seen her move so fast. And I walked up to the door, and it's just a glass. It's just a glass door, and I'm looking through the glass and tapping on it. But she's like, no, no, go away right now. And then she had the door locked, so I couldn't get in anyway. So I kind of walk away from the door, and I kind of go around just out of the side of the door, and there's Jeremy creeping up behind her. I can see her in the window. She turned around. She ran out of the house so fast. She was halfway into the neighbor's yard by the time Jeremy got out. Oh, she was not happy with us, but that is. See, I'm pretty sure we would made Sam happy. That was our trick.
Mm-hmm. That was our
And,
trick. I like that.
seeing Mom run across the yard was our treat. So
Good times. That was fun. Um, but oh man, I just I love this movie. I can't say it enough. I just do.
I
It'll
yeah.
continue to be a staple in my um, 31 Days of Halloween movie month. It'll always be there. It's one of those ones that I'll never change out, no matter what. Just like Halloween, it'll be there.
Yeah, maybe I should try that this year. Maybe starting in October, we'll go through and watch some horror movies. Wednesday's going to be easy because we've
Every Monday
watched
night will
them.
be easy.
Yeah, every Monday night's going to be easy because we watch horror anyway. But yeah, maybe I should try putting in a horror movie every now and then. But the problem is, well, I mean, work schedule wise.
It does get hard on some nights.
Well, I mean, when or October shouldn't be busy times for me, so I should be able to get out enough time because then you're having to compete with gaming and
Yeah.
spending time with people, and I knock out two birds, one stone, hang out with someone, and watch a movie.
Bingo.
Yeah, so
So,
yeah, maybe I'll make a shot at trying to do that.
on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give Mr. Sam and Trick or Treat?
I'm afraid to give him anything lower than an 8 because he's the way he just stares at me. Those unblinking.
Mom
eyes.
gives it a 10, a perfect 10.
Mom gives this movie a 10. Wow. That is really high. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Ravenfire gives it a 10. Man, y'all are generous on this one.
Wait, are you guys just rating Sam or are you rating the movie? I really get the feeling they're just rating Sam right now because like it's a 10. 10, so totally innocent yet a perfect killer. Guys, you're supposed to be rating the movie, not the I would rate him a 10 also and go by the rules. Yeah, they're just voting Sam. That's it. That's it. That's voting Sam. They didn't even pay attention to the movie. They were like, every time Sam was off screen, they were sleeping. Sam walks on screen, they're like, "Oh my god, he's back! He's amazing!" But they just guys, focus. We're talking about the movie, not just Sam. Okay, when we get to talking about Halloween, it's not going to be like, "What'd you guys think of the movie?" 10 because Michael is scary. I liked Michael.
No, it's gonna be when we get
He's
to
adorable.
When we get to Scream, it's gonna be 10 out of 10. Matthew Lillard's just the best. It's
He's
all
the
Matthew Lillard.
It's all Matthew. In this movie, everybody's a 10. Oh. Yeah, they got that new Scream movie that just came out.
They did. So before we even get into, okay, you gave it a 9, right?
I give the movie a 9. Okay, guys, I give the movie a 9.
This movie should be just called Sam.
Yeah, he was barely in the movie.
He made an appearance in every story.
He made an appearance in every story, but he wasn't even the focal point of most of them.
Yes.
I mean, he in the werewolf story, the werewolves ate all the men or whatever, and he was just sitting there like, okay, that's cool. During the scene with the children, once Witchy had made it up the elevator and was leaving with her one pumpkin, he was crossing the street and was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And left her alone.
Actually, this one that he's sitting in right now, I think, is the one from the werewolf.
And I mean, yes, he did kill the robot, but you didn't actually see him in that one. I don't think you got to see him right in the beginning.
PJ says he was my focal point.
Wait, which one, Matthew Lillard or
no, Sam?
Because she said, "Oh, Matthew Lillard, I love him too. He was my focal point." So yeah, he wasn't like, he's like Waldo. He's in every one of those scenes, but there's other things going on. His biggest one was Kree, and that's where he had the most screen time. So I do feel like if you can get a character like this in here and people symbolize, that's like having Michael Myers in like 10 minutes of Halloween, you know.
True.
Yeah, but I mean, most people, I guess, have seen this movie, have this character in mind, you know. So it's always a good thing. What? Let me ask you this, Jeremy. What is Sam?
I'm assuming he's just an entity of Halloween.
So are you saying he's a spirit of Halloween?
I would say so. They
So he exists in rundown Targets and Kmart's, old blockbusters. He's the spirit of Halloween. Yep, the spirit of Halloween. We could buy all your Halloween essentials.
Yeah, so apparently this is what the biggest summary says. 5 interwoven stories that occur on Halloween. An everyday high school principal has a secret life as a serial killer. A college virgin might have just met the guy for her. A group of teenagers pull a mean prank. A woman who loathes the night has to contend with her holiday obsessed husband, and a mean old man meets his match with a demonic supernatural trick or treater.
Do they just actually call Sam a demonic trick or treater?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, this is how Raven described the movie. Good movie. I loved how they had the different stories, the way they put them all together, and how well it blended, the originality, and then ending so satisfying. Without Sam, it would have been an 8.5, but the kid kicks it to a 10.
All right, so you gave it a 9. Did you say why?
Um, the only reason that I give it a 9 is I feel like some of it just it's unexplained. And I mean that might just be a me thing because I want to know why Angel just did not like Witchy. Like at all. Like she was just brutally mean to her. Like were they friends? Maybe. Was Witchy just so unpopular in school that it was popular to pick on her? It's just little things like that. But other than that, this movie is just it's really well done.
I give it a 9 out of 10.
And why?
Um, I kind of wish that fifth story would have been went on a little bit longer to kind of go a little bit deeper as to why she doesn't like Halloween or why she was so adamant about him taking the decorations down that night.
Yeah, that's yeah, I get
Um,
that.
and then, but that's about it. I mean, I just kind of wish they would have went into a little more detail. Um,
Yeah, that one was kind of broken up because it was right at the beginning. They show up at the house and they're like, she's like, "Man, I hate this holiday." And the husband's like, "Oh, it's not that bad." She's like, "No, okay, we're done. Take it all down. Take it all down." And he's like, "It's gonna take forever." She's like, "I don't care. Get inside, get changed. We're taking it down." And then she ends up getting killed by Sam. And then right there at the ending, it literally ends at the beginning of that where Sam is leaving Krieg's house
and
and
going
he's
right
standing,
across the street.
yeah, and he's just kind of standing on the sidewalk, and you see the couple walk up and she's berating Halloween or whatever, and Sam looks down at his like broken little lollipop and is like, "Yep, this looks like a job for me," and then proceeds to take his little pumpkin self over there to carve out some carnage.
Well, out of 96,000 votes on
Wait, is this
IMDb,
wait, is this a percentage?
no, it's an out of 10.
Oh, out of
IMD,
10. Oh,
yeah, IMDb is always out of 10.
okay. What do you guys think IMDb gave it?
Not
I mean, this is
these are
votes from.
people.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. But what do you think he got on IMDb? Because a lot of it's voting. So a bunch of people out there voting, vote, vote, vote. I'm gonna go with an 8.
96,000 people.
Okay, everyone's just going 8s.
And the answer is 6.7 out of 10 on the IMDb side.
What?
Womp, womp, womp.
But maybe it was because they didn't have enough Sam. You need more Sam in your life.
But
This movie would have been so much better if it had more Sam. Yeah, that's just a bunch of people. You can't just tell them they all are bad. Now, some of them, you can't. Some of them voted really high. Some
yeah,
of them voted really low. They just
now
didn't like Sam.
we are on to
Sammy, Sammy boy.
Sammy. Sammy.
Get our best Dean out here.
Sammy.
It was the heat moment.
Dean, I saw you. I saw you
I'm
die.
I'm setting it up, Jeremy. It was the heat of the moment.
Rise and shine, Sammy.
There you go. There you go. Now we got it. God.
All right. So, Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, okay. Rotten Tomatoes.
The
This is a
tomato
percentage.
meter.
Now
Tomato
this
meter.
is the percentage, and it's the one that's critic first.
Critic first. Out of 100%.
Oh, I'm gonna go with 78.
78. What about everybody else? Mr.
Okay,
Sam
so
lovers.
Okay, so while everyone else is putting in their guesses real quick, Jeremy, since we were just doing our little supernatural bit right there, Jensen Ackles was on The Boys, right?
Yes, he was.
Yes. I just saw an article or something that said that they just announced that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is now on the show.
I saw that. And so is
I don't know who he's playing, but
I don't either, but then so that means you've got Jensen Ackles, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and oh my god, I cannot think of his name, but Bobby.
Bobby was on there.
Bobby's on The Boys too. He plays the president.
I must have not have gotten that far.
And then they're
All
actually
right, hold on. Let's stop there for a second because we still got the audience score to do. So, PJ says 82. Ravenfire said 68. I said 78. Let me put that in so I can remember that. All right.
PJB Dog. You are the closest. You are off by 1%. It was an 81.
Ooh, look at you. And the grand prize is we'll leave Sammy up there for a little bit longer so you can look at him.
So some of the comments
from these professional critics.
Yep. There are a lot of tricks in this movie and a lot of treats. That isn't just a cheesy Halloween reference. It's the visible, intended design of this funny, weird, sometimes actually unsettling movie.
Yeah.
This slick and twisted effort should enjoy lengthy shelf life as a Halloween perennial.
Yeah, that's pretty much saying this thing should be watched every year.
What unifies all these episodes beyond their jagged singularity of time and place is a nostalgic EC comic style brand of twisted morality that sees characters punished for infringing the rules of this night when the supernatural runs riot. And now, the audience score.
All right. I think Oh, let me see. Let me see. I think the audience is going to be a little bit more lenient. Oh, geez, Rain Fire jumped to a 90. I'm going to go with. I'm I'm gonna do the prices right. I'm gonna do the prices right. Here we go.
So the object of the Price is Right is to go under, right? Not go over.
Yeah.
Kind of like black.
I,
Okay. Well,
well, I mean, sometimes I think it's like closest. Sometimes it's like who's closest.
PJ B Dog, you used to watch the Prices Right. Which is it? Higher or lower? Or closest? No. The Price is Right is you got to be lower. You can't go over.
Uh, yeah, but why were they always like doing it? Were they doing like a?
The wheel is you got to get closest to the $1.
Yeah, I know that, but I meant like when they're doing like when they line up when they got the four contest, you have to be closest but lower. So if someone's looking at something, they go, "Oh, I think it's $50." You know that little jerk on the side's like, "You know what? I think it's $51."
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
for all y'all, in the words of Adam Sandler, the price is wrong. 72%. Audience
Well,
gave it a 72.
it actually got lower
Yeah.
than wow, that's the one time the critics were actually lenient, I suppose. Well, technically PJ was closest, so she wins again. Happy Halloween, I guess. Get to stare at Sammy some more. He's
Sammy!
not going. He's not going anywhere.
Raven's like, ew, what?
Well, not everyone has our opinions. Some people can just be wrong. Okay. I'm sorry for anyone out there. Your opinions aren't wrong. Uh, we're gonna get. We barely got this thing up off the ground. I'm already gonna drag us into the ocean. Cancellation. He said we were wrong.
Cancer culture. Cancel culture.
People can get
Yes.
stuck on a pumpkin. That is the best line ever. Happy Halloween. Some people can go suck on a pumpkin sucker.
No.
God.
If you don't agree with us, Sam will come after you. It's one of the rules of Halloween.
I don't think we are Halloween, Jeremy. They can't just disagree with us and Sammy come after him. We are not Halloween. Sam is Halloween. Do they have an actual like let me see here. The movie is Trick or Treat.
Like Toys R Us, except Trick or Treat.
Sam. I'm just trying. I like how they put him under like villains wiki. Villain. He's our little hero. Anti-villainous main protagonist. That's kind of um.
Hey, Jason.
Ghost of Halloween.
I was looking at some of the other stuff that the actor who played Sam was in.
Uh-huh.
He was in an episode of Once Upon a Time.
Was he?
Yeah, he played Hansel.
Oh my god. Oh my god, what is that? Is Sam from Season's Greetings? That is funny.
I'll have to look it up.
He looks like a goofy iteration of a scarecrow. It's kind of funny. I don't know if he might be even more adorable there, but
did you see? PJ said, but we love Sam, so yeah, it could happen. It's okay, Sammy. We still love you. Oh my god!
God, you guys are so stuck on that.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, that is him. What?
yeah, that little dinky looking. Show it up to the camera. See if people can see this thing. I don't know how well the camera.
All right, give me
camera
a second.
Um, it almost look. See that? I don't know what time when that thing came out.
There you go, guys. That is what Sam was based off of.
Wait, that's not even the picture I was looking at.
Well, that's the
I was
first
looking
one
at.
I found. I also found this one where he's just
Yeah,
like.
that's the one. That's the one right there. He's got that little. He is so-
Oh my god. Raven's like,
gosh.
go Sammy, we are Team Sam. Oh my god.
Okay, we apologize so much for the people who have to actually listen to this, and you can't see what we are actually looking at, but it is absolutely hilarious. His body's so tiny, he's got this giant head. It almost looks like a Charlie Brown cartoon.
Oh my god.
What? That is just weird. Doherty, who I don't know who Doherty is, described Sam's head as a cross between an embryo and a pumpkin. That's just disturbing. Quinn Lord, who plays Sam in the film, described his character as being a demon who was born in a pumpkin patch.
Yeah, so apparently Doherty, the director, said if they ever made a sequel, they wanted to show Sam's origin and him coming from the pumpkin patch and carving, basically a pumpkin carving himself.
Wow, that's Sam may resemble a child, but he is actually hundreds, if not thousands, of years old, and
Pennywise?
known by various names and guises by various cultures throughout the world. The graphic novel Trick or Treat Days of the Dead, one of the stories, concerns a 19th century pioneer girl named Sarah who befriends an Indian tribe living on land that her railman father wants to develop. The tribal chief's daughter gives Sarah a handmade doll of Sam, whom the tribe at one point refers to as the Great Autumn Spirit, that she says will protect her from harm. This leads Sarah to ask if he is a good spirit, and the chief's daughter responds, I would not say that, but the shaman told me he is very old and very powerful.
Well, that with all that being said, we're gonna have to dive into his backstory at some point, but that's all the time that we have for tonight. Unfortunately, little Sam will be leaving the podcast tonight.
Yeah, he's a one-hit wonder.
We will be catching. I don't know. They may come out with a sequel eventually.
Well, maybe, or we could do the season's greetings, maybe special little add-on or something.
Well, everybody, we'll see y'all next week for Movie Night Monday, and we will see y'all next Wednesday, same time. Everyone, stay safe. We will see y'all next week.
Good night.
It began in May, and every month after that, whenever the moon was full, it happened again. And again.
What was that? It's over there. Don't point that at me.
Nobody knew who or what was responsible.
Come on.
They only knew it had to be stopped. Now, from the master of mystery and suspense, Stephen King's Silver Bullet. Silver Bullet, the last glimmering hope.